Well, I'm very glad I looked at the website first, because I wouldn't have known what sort of church I was looking for in the shape of the building. But now I'm here, I'm very impressed actually. There's lots of signs around to show me that it's very community based. There's a few bits about the services, which is for me quite important to know when and where it's going to be on. And just seeing the reactions of people coming up and down the street, just seeing how they sort of stop, think about it and then just go in just on the spur of the moment, I find quite reassuring actually.
For a start, the sign on the church announcing who the church is in the main service, I think is very effective. That's a real statement of what goes on here. I have mixed reactions about this, because there's a plethora of signs. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's a lot of information going on here, trying to explain the breadth of what's going on, and I just wonder whether it's an overload. But having said that, standing here, watching people walk by, they are reading the signs, and we've actually seen a couple of people being attracted in through the signs. So yeah, probably meets a need for. It's meeting a need for what they're delivering today. So yeah, good.
First came in and saw lots of the leaflets and information things on the board, but I got a bit confused. I'm not sure how many services are here in the week, or whether it's just the one Sunday service which is advertised outside. I can't actually see anything else on the board to direct me to any other services, or even the type of service that happens on a Sunday. I've looked at the pew sheet for tomorrow, and again I'm not quite sure what sort of service it is for Sunday, but I noticed there might be another couple of services during the week. But that was my only area that I could find any information on it. Other than that, I found quite a lot of information about different things relating to Lent and the forthcoming events, really.
I just want to point out this notice as a really good example of something nice and bright and obvious. You can see it from a long way away. The A4 posters, you obviously have to get quite close to see their message, but this you really can't miss.
This poster is very good for getting information across, but it kind of, in a way, it's kind of old-fashioned. The colours are quite pale, and it looks like something from maybe 2000 or something earlier than that. I really like the phrase North End Team Ministry, although it's not necessarily clear which churches they are. Yeah, and so one thing they could do is maybe like underneath that write which churches that involves.
I like the design of the website, and there's a lot of useful information on there.
It's not buildings and structures, it's people. And people are and that's very attractive. And whether it's a subliminal statement, but actually the statement is, this is about serving people and a community rather than maintaining buildings and structures.
You've definitely got to have a proper look around to find what you're looking for. So if you're looking for just stuff about children and young people, you've got to kind of peer it all before you find it. Whereas these are very good because they're big and you can see the writing very easily. So yeah, I think we should definitely increase the font size over here.
I was really impressed by the amount of information and help that they are able to provide for people who need flooding support. It goes to show what they're able to do in current times of crisis, or as well as some of the longer term things that they've got.
A historic church which will have a significant number of visitors looking at the architecture and the history. And this is lovely. There's sort of a grown-up one, but I'm particularly impressed by this very easily handled glossy for young people, specifically aimed, because certainly my children have been dragged around many churches, and they would have really enjoyed having their own specific information. So that's very good.
There's a really nice setup here for the children to come during the service, nice cuddly toys for them to snuggle up to and read some books and hopefully be a little bit quiet whilst the rest of the congregation is in the service.
I really like this notice board because it kind of has, as well as the other notice boards that they have around which have got the bulk of information, this has just the highlights that it really wants to get across. So I think this is quite good, just having a portable notice board that they can kind of move around and is just got the main important bits on it.
This is a slightly confusing notice board. Clearly it's meant for church members because it's tucked away and so you have to seek it out. They're headings of what's meant to be going on under diocesan charitable giving, but it's sort of got it's got a bit of everything. Notices held up with one pin, so it looks a bit sort of messy and amateurish. And certainly by the time we get to this stage, it will be very difficult for anybody to find any information or actually want to. So in this particular small area specifically, it will be useful to tidy this up and be more focused and get an understanding of what information you're trying to put.
I've just read the Hambledonian magazine, which I think is really good. There's lots of valuable information in here. It's very clear layout and actually highlights the services very well. Lots of information about the local church, what's going on in the local area, very community based, and I really like it.
To move over to parish hall, but most people would call it church hall, but you're quite right.
What I think is quite interesting, that's really vibrant and you want to read it and there's interest in what's going on. And then over to your other notice, it's dull.
That's the community board.
It's dull, it's all white and yellow, and it looks even dirty. I don't know if the perspex is scruffier and dirtier and older, but that's really vibrant, and I'll walk past that, it's pretty dull.
The board here, it's very clear to see as you're walking past on this pathway just here. There's also a nice big sign here which welcomes people to come on into the church.
Yeah, my first thoughts coming in, it's very well organised with all the information everywhere. I particularly like the children's board behind us with the fair trade and what the children have done. It's good to see a nice big mission statement at the top over here, and on the other side welcoming photos of all the people who are actually in the church. Very well laid out, a nice welcome table with all the relevant information there, and I'm very impressed.
One of the themes that strike you as we've come to St James's is the professional standard of the notices. They're colourful, they tell you exactly what the notice is trying to get across to you, and the fact that they're backed and so on makes it a place where people are taking great care of trying to explain who they are and what the messages are getting across. I think they're great.
The key really good things about this is that it's not over-cluttered. In a lot of churches you'll see tons of information on a really small board, and so it's all really cluttered and it's difficult to find everything. Whereas here there's clear spaces in between everything. And the key to that is the fact that it's just a really big board, and so it's easy to get a lot of information but with space in between, so you're not kind of met by a collage. So the website itself is quite good because it's got who they are, their message and their vision, but yeah, and it's quite navigable as well. But initially it's quite difficult to find because there are a number of churches that come up if you just type in Church Emsworth. So you'd actually have to type in St James's Emsworth, which defeats the point of it if you're just if you're a person looking for a new church starter in Emsworth.